out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 20 Ultimate Team video. We're here to talk about some information that you might want to know regarding Team of the Year. So if you're new to Madden Ultimate Team, every year towards the end of the regular season, or at the end of the regular season I should say, they drop Team of the Year, and it's really good cards at every position. Now, over the last 2 years, I believe, they released them on offense first and then defense second, and they were released kind of in like a week in between each other, right? So we're getting around that time where content is starting to slow down. Team of the Week is over, and there's a lot of speculation that Team of the Year is coming back, and I would, definitely agree with that speculation. So I looked it up, and last year, January 13th, I made a video, and the video was about a market crash that was going on, and it was a Sunday. The very next day was the day that we ended up getting the Team of the Year content, and that was a Monday. So I watched Good Morning Madden this morning, right? And Kralo said he's not going to be on the show tomorrow, but a special guest will be. And if you think about it, typically when they say a special guest, it's usually Clint, right? And we just started a new month in January. It seems to me like a patch is probably coming out. I'm going to say today. I'm recording this video on a Wednesday. You're watching on a Thursday. Probably by the time you're watching this, the patch might already be out. So no content's probably coming tomorrow, or today, I should say. He said he'll be back Friday. Could we see Team of the Year on Friday? I'm still going to probably say no, but I do believe that we might see it the following week, because that's going to kind of fall in line with when it came out last year. Will we see it on a Monday? Maybe not, but they do have to fill that void that Team of the Week has, been bringing us every Tuesday. So maybe do we see Team of the Year start on a Tuesday? That's going to be my guess. This coming Tuesday, we might see it. Now, as far as being prepared for it, like, one of the major things here is that you wanted to make sure you've been playing your solos. Now, almost every Tuesday I've put out a video and I said, make sure you play your solos, because you're going to need this Team of the Year captain, or Team of the Year token. And if you played every single week like I have, you have 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 of them. So I looked back at my video from last year, and I saw that in order to get a free Team of the Year card, it was a fantasy pack, you had to have 15 tokens. So I'm guessing the number will probably be the same if you're short of 15. I doubt they're going to do any makeup tokens. Maybe they will, but I wouldn't they gave you more than enough chances, put it that way. If they give you 15 out of the 18 weeks, I think that's pretty fair. And last year, they did, allow you to do something with these tokens if you couldn't complete the set. We also got solos, and there were collectibles and a bunch of exchange sets, and we'll kind of dive into that. But one thing that I specifically remember, and we'll kind of readdress this, and we'll also be dropping a video coming very soon, maybe even tomorrow, on our Team of the Year kind of predictions on at every position. But one thing I really remember is that when this set came out, where you could use your tokens to get a free card, Team of the Year cards were extremely cheap. I remember Tyreek Hill was one of them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think George Kittle was another. And they were dirt cheap. Everybody was opening the set, they're opening the packs, selling it off, and then as soon as that died down, about 24 hours later, prices shot up, and they stayed up for a while. And I remember thinking to myself, Mike, next year, if this is the same format, you need to be smart and invest in some of these cards. So, with that being said, I don't know if this is going to happen again. I'm just giving you my advice and what I'm going to do. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but if you agree with me, I'm okay with you doing it. If we do get a set where these tokens are used, and it's a fantasy set, or fantasy pack, I should say, and you get to pick your card, and it's an auctionable card, which hopefully it will be. Hopefully EA doesn't make this thing net. That would be really disappointing. And you see the market start to trend down, or these cards seem really underpriced, and also they're separated by a week, meaning like offense comes out one week and defense the next, it might not be a bad idea to invest. The other thing is, with those fantasy packs, last year offense came out first, but you could still get a defensive card because the fantasy pack had one offensive player, one defensive player, and one special teams player. So there were a lot of defensive cards on the auction house but they weren't in packs yet. The sets weren't out yet. So that's another thing to kind of take into account there, is that, say you get a pretty glitchy defensive card, you might want to hold on to it for a couple days and then sell it and then maybe buy it back when the defensive cards come out. Again, assuming that the releases are split into 1 week. Another thing that I noticed with the content last year is that there were some exchange sets. And what we saw was 89 plus overall team of the week cards went into a set to, I believe, earn you collectibles. And then those collectibles could be used to get current team of the years. Now, was it smart to do the exchange sets? Typically, exchange sets are not really in your favor, but with that information, and again, I'm not going to do this, but I did want to bring it up to you guys. With that information, investing in current team of the week cards that are probably really cheap right now, may not be a bad idea. So we're looking at like 90 overall team of the week cards right here. Again, last year's exchange set had 89s in it. So 89 team of the week cards this year are right around 45K. If you got a pretty large coin stack and you feel like maybe that's going to come in handy, might not be a bad thing to invest in. Again, I am personally not going to do that, but I did want to bring it up because it was a thing last year, and I'm sure I kicked myself last year and said, damn it, I wish I invested. And I'm sure if it happens again this year, I'm going to say, damn it, I wish I invested. But for that, I personally am not. Now, another thing that we've seen with like ghost cards for the promo, the Zero Chill promo. We've seen it with certain items, the MUT 10 legends, then to the NFL 100 legends. Investing in a base power up hasn't been incredibly beneficial this year. I think there's so many out there. There's a few outliers, Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack, the big names, Tyreek Hill. But what we have seen is not the core elites, but maybe the second card or the next card after the core card that people need for that power up is just incredibly difficult to get at a good price. And we've seen that. I'm just going to do a random price check here now. We've seen that with the likes of Bo Jackson, Randy Moss, Michael Vick, and I think that, that's something that we might see happen with these Team of the Year cards. Now, who's going to get Team of the Year cards? I don't know. But I mean, if you look at it, Bo, a 91 overall Bo is still 336K. If you take a look at who's the other ones here, Vic, I think he's gone down a little bit, but you take a look when they got another card after, kind of their I'd say 90 to 93 overall card after they got another one. These cards have shot up in price and they've stayed up in price for a very long time. I'm not making full predictions in this video, but some of the names that if I were you that maybe you would want to invest in, and right now I'm saying I probably won't do it, but at the same time, I'm still a little undecided. But if you think about it, there are some names out there, some very popular names like Russell Wilson. I could totally see if he gets a new card, this card shooting up a little bit. Now this one's a little bit higher than I thought already, but still could be, very, very much more expensive, especially if you want to power him up. Another name out there, and I have his card and I'm probably going to hang on to it and hope to God that it does go up in price, even though it's pretty expensive right now, and maybe that's because people are thinking the way I'm thinking, is George Kittle. So I wrote down probably 6 to 7 names that I feel confident could be Team of the Year cards. But again, we're going to do a full Team of the Year prediction video. But I got on offense, George Kittle, Russell Wilson, Michael Thomas. On defense, I got 4 names. 2 I feel pretty good about. 2 maybe. Bobby Wagner. It's been a while since he got a card. He got a Team of the Year last year. Jalen Ramsey, though, as far as I know, he didn't have a great season. I didn't hear his name a lot other than the trade. He's kind of one of those MUT, desired cards, highly desired cards in MUT. So Jalen Ramsey. Von Miller, he's been needing an upgrade for a while. I don't think he had a good season at all. He could also be a Super Bowl promo card. They could be saving it for that. So Von Miller, I don't feel great about, but I wanted to write his name down. And then Jamal Adams is the other one. I feel really confident we're going to see a Jamal Adams Team of the Year card. So think about investments that way, guys, that maybe you personally feel like are locks to get Team of the Years. Maybe take a look at their power-ups, their core elites, but most importantly, it's that third card, that card that they get after their core card, after their power-up card. Those cards seem to be shooting up in price. Again, maybe invest in what you might think will be working for exchange sets. And when we get that free pack that comes out, if you've been playing your collectibles, Just pay attention to the market. Now, if the market crashes, you know, it's probably also going to be a great time to load up on training for future stuff, not so much for Team of the Year. Last year, I told you guys I did that market crash video the night before. Training points, coin per training point was like 30 coins per training point, which is pretty funny. I think it's like 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. It's like almost cut in half from last year, which is just kind of funny. And I think maybe some of the reasons are, you know, the values were different last year compared to this year. Remember, last year you could upgrade cards with limited cards, that is, with training. So it was a little bit more in demand. I think training is a little bit less in demand this year, but we've seen it in the past. There's plenty of promos that are probably coming that are going to have training packs. So if training gets really stupid cheap because of Team of the Year hype, you know, definitely might be a good time. We'll follow up with a video on that, of course, to address the market when it crashes, because it will. And don't forget, later on today we have monthly rewards, which is always a great time to invest in cards, get cards cheap. There's a lot of fantasy packs out there. People are getting some solid cards and then dumping them and undercutting each other. So today might be a good day to look out for some of those investments that you want to make. And if you got any questions about Team of the Year, leave it down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.